What is happening is not by chance. You feel it, don't you? This connection is not ordinary. There is something greater guiding every step, every moment. The universe is aligning everything so that you can meet, strengthen each other, and move forward together. But the question is, are you ready to answer this call? Have you noticed how certain people enter your life and leave marks that never fade? As if they were destined to cross your path, to be part of your story, to fill spaces that once felt empty. Some encounters go beyond logic, surpass any rational explanation. They are meetings that cannot be ignored because they carry a greater purpose. But can you see this? Or are you trying to resist what has already been written? You know this is not coincidence. The world may try to convince you that everything is the work of blind fate, but inside you, something shouts that this connection is different. Perhaps you don't fully understand the reason. Perhaps you're afraid to believe, but the fact is, this person didn't come into your life for no reason. There is a profound meaning behind this encounter. These are not just words spoken by chance nor fleeting moments. It is something that resonates in your soul, making you question everything, changing the way you see life. You feel it in the gaze, in the energy, in the way everything fits together in an inexplicable manner. It's as if the universe is showing you a path, but you hesitate to follow. Why? Fear of surrendering? Insecurity in the face of the unknown? Or do you simply not want to believe that something so powerful could be real? The signs are everywhere. How many times have you felt that this connection goes beyond what words can describe? How many times have you tried to ignore this force, but it continued to manifest in different ways? Certain encounters happen to transform lives, to fulfill something that goes beyond our understanding. And when that happens, denying it is futile. This person came into your life for a reason. You know this. And there's no use running away because life will keep showing you, in every possible way, that there's something to be lived, learned, and built. The signs are everywhere. You feel the presence of this connection even when you try to distract yourself. And the more you try to deny it, the stronger the certainty becomes that this story isn't over yet. But what will you do with this? Will you ignore it, pretend you don't feel it, or finally accept that some things can't be explained, only lived? A call that cannot be ignored. If you feel this connection pulsing inside you, know this. It's not an illusion. It's not a coincidence. There's a purpose unfolding before your eyes, and it's up to you to decide whether to embrace it or continue resisting. The truth is that this person could be an essential part of your journey. They may be someone who came to teach you, to challenge you, to complete you in ways you never imagined. But none of this will be possible if you keep denying what is already clear. There are no guarantees, there are no promises of an easy path. But there's something inside you that knows this connection should not be ignored. And the big question is, will you have the courage to follow this call, or will you let fear prevent you from living what has already been laid out for you? The choices that define destiny. Everything comes down to a choice. You can keep denying it, pretending it doesn't mean anything, trying to convince yourself that it's all just a coincidence. But you can also decide to see the truth, accept that there are greater forces at work in your life and that this connection wasn't meant to be wasted. The question that remains is, what are you going to do now? Your destiny is in your hands. The choice has always been yours, but don't fool yourself into thinking time will wait. The opportunities that arise today may not be available tomorrow. Destiny can give you signs, can put the right person in your path, but it can never decide for you. How many times have you felt this connection so intensely that it seemed impossible to ignore? How many times have you tried to pull away, but something always pulled you back? No matter how many twists and turns life takes, some connections are unbreakable. They endure, resist, and survive the test of time and circumstances. If this person has entered your life and everything inside you screams that they are special, are you really going to let this story slip away? Are you going to allow fear, pride, or doubts to overshadow this force that calls to you? Don't be fooled. There are encounters that only happen once. If you miss this chance, you may never have another like it. The weight of decisions. You might ask yourself, what if I embrace this connection and get hurt? But you should also ask, what if I let something slip away that could have changed my life? The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, but regret is far worse. Do you really want to live with the doubt of what could have been? Do you want to look back and realize that you didn't have the courage to live what was already meant for you? No one can give you all the answers. No one can guarantee that everything will be easy. But one thing is certain. Some stories need to be lived, even if they bring challenges, even if they require courage. Because some people don't come into your life for no reason. They come to transform you. The big question is, are you ready to allow that transformation to happen? The purpose that unites you. If there's one thing life teaches, it's that nothing is by chance. Every true connection has a purpose. Sometimes that purpose is for growth. Other times it's for learning. But there's always something to be experienced. If this person has come into your life and touched your essence, there's a reason for it. Maybe you still can't see it completely. Maybe you still have doubts, but at some point everything will make sense. The question is, will you wait for time to show you what's already right in front of you, or will you act before it's too late? The universe is giving you a chance to experience something that few get the opportunity to feel. A real, intense, transformative connection. But none of this will matter if you don't choose to open yourself up to what's to come. Are you ready to accept this truth? Close your eyes for a moment and feel. What does this connection awaken in you? What do you feel when you think of this person? The answer lies within you, and ignoring it won't change the facts. Destiny is calling you. Life is presenting you with something that could change everything, but in the end only you can decide. So what will it be? Will you continue to run away, or finally accept that some things cannot be explained, only lived? The time to choose is now. There's no more time for hesitation. You feel it, don't you? Feel something within you already knows the answer, but perhaps fear is still holding you back. Fear of surrender, fear of the unknown, fear of admitting that this connection is not ordinary, that it's greater than any logical explanation. But let me ask you this. How long will you keep postponing the inevitable? Fate has already placed the pieces on the board. You can keep pretending that this means nothing, but the truth is that this connection will always call out to you. It will always remind you that there is something greater than you can imagine. There is no way to escape. You can try to convince yourself that it's better to ignore it. You can take a different path. You can pretend that you don't feel. But deep down, this connection will remain. Life doesn't wait for indecision. What needs to be lived has a perfect timing to happen. You can fight against it as much as you want, but the universe will keep sending you signs, reminding you in every possible way that this story isn't finished yet. What holds you back from moving forward? Now look inside yourself and be honest. What is truly holding you back? Is it the fear of failure, the dread of suffering, the uncertainty of what this connection might mean for your future? But tell me, what's worse, the possibility of getting hurt or the weight of regret? Because if there's one thing you need to understand, it's that there is no true connection without risk. There is no impactful story without commitment. There is no transformation without courage. You can choose to close yourself off and live in the safety of a predictable path, but in doing so, you're also giving up something that could be extraordinary. The connections that shape our lives, the people who truly make a difference in our lives, don't come to us quietly. They come to challenge us, to push us out of our comfort zone, to make us see beyond the obvious. And that won't always be easy. This connection wasn't meant to be forgotten. It wasn't meant to be superficial. It has a purpose, and that purpose needs to be lived. Have you ever noticed how some people come into your life and turn everything upside down? They change the way you see the world, make you feel things you've never felt before. And even if we try to resist, something pulls us back, as if that connection is beyond our control. This doesn't happen to just anyone. It's not common, and ignoring it won't make it go away. The question is, are you willing to live this story to the end? You are being tested. Life is testing you right now. It's placing you in front of something rare, something that many people go their whole lives without finding. And the big question lingering is, will you have the courage to answer this call, or will you let this opportunity slip through your fingers? Nothing that truly matters comes easy. If this connection were simple, if it were light, maybe it wouldn't hold so much meaning. But precisely because it's intense, because it's strong, because it challenges you so much, it has a greater purpose. And now, fate wants to know, are you ready to take that step, or will you keep letting fear call the shots? The future depends on your choice. If you could look ahead and see the consequences of your decision, what would you see? A story lived to the fullest, with intensity and truth, or a regret that haunts you for never having had the courage to take the risk? The truth is, once this connection enters your life, nothing will ever be the same. You might choose another path, you might attempt to ignore it, you might even try to replace it, but deep down, there will always be that feeling that something remains unfinished. And I ask you, is that what you want? Or will you choose to live this story fully, knowing that regardless of the outcome, you did everything within your power? Fate has placed this choice in your hands. Now there's only one question left. What are you going to do with it? Fate is calling. Will you answer? Life doesn't typically give second chances for stories that were meant to happen. There are moments when a decision needs to be made, and that moment is now. You can keep hesitating, hiding behind your own uncertainties, but the truth is that this connection isn't going anywhere. It will keep pulsating inside you, reminding you every day that something remains unfinished. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness that lingers, that feeling that something needs to be fully experienced. But there is a limit to waiting. There is a deadline for destiny to act. If you don't make this decision now, time may make it for you. And then, it will be too late. Because the truth is that destiny doesn't beg, it merely signals. If you don't follow those signs, it will move on without you. Fear cannot be greater than truth. How many times in your life have you let fear prevent you from experiencing something great? How many opportunities have slipped away because you hesitated, because you got caught up in doubts that only existed in your mind? This connection you feel is not fragile. It's not here to be discarded, but it also cannot survive on its own. You need to decide if you are going to fight for it or if you will let it slip away like sand through your fingers. But think carefully. Are you really willing to carry this regret for the rest of your life? Because one thing is certain. What's in front of you now will not happen again. Don't be deceived. Some doors close forever. Believing that time will always be on your side is a mistake. Some chances come only once and then disappear forever. You might think there will always be another opportunity, that someday will be the right time. But what if the right time is now? What if this story is just waiting for you to take that one step, for it to finally unfold? The universe has already done its part. It gave you the signs, put you face to face with something rare, showed you that this connection is not common. But what more needs to happen for you to understand? What else is needed for you to see that this is your time? Are you going to let this story be just a memory? Think about the future. Imagine yourself years from now looking back, reliving this moment in your mind. Do you want to be the person who had the courage to live it all intensely, or someone who hid away and let slip what could have been one of the most meaningful experiences of your life? Because the truth is, there's no going back to what was never lived. If you don't do something now, this story could become just a ghost of what it could have been. And do you really want to carry that weight? Destiny doesn't make mistakes. Only you can choose to ignore. You can keep denying it. You can go on with your life as if nothing happened. You can convince yourself that this connection wasn't that important, that it was just a fleeting moment. But is that really true? Because deep down, something tells you otherwise. You know this bond goes far beyond the ordinary. You know there are people who come into your life to make a mark and others who come to stay. And you know exactly which of these options this person represents. The final call. What will your choice be? This could be the last time destiny knocks at your door. It could be your last chance to turn this connection into something real before it fades away with time. So, what will it be? Will you wait until it's too late? Or will you finally accept that this connection isn't a mistake, isn't a coincidence, but rather a purpose that needs to be lived? The choice is yours, but time doesn't wait. This choice is yours, but time doesn't turn back. Comment: I choose to live this connection. Subscribe and leave a like.